Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome, goddesses.
Hello.
We are excited to be spending this time with you this morning on our goddess chat.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy
That's how
Wednesday.
I know it's Wednesday.
For sure, except for the weeks that Ramona disappears, and then it's like, oh,
Oh,
what day is it? Oh, all right. So, how's your morning? It's been a
you
little
know,
it's been a little funky for me.
yeah. Um, like I think I said earlier, I haven't quite decided how my morning
Mm,
because I get to
mm,
decide when I wake up in the morning. I tell myself I get to decide how I feel. I don't
mm-hmm.
necessarily have to feel the way I'm feeling right now. I can choose something else. So,
Yes,
what do I want to choose?
absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely have been feeling like I'm running on the rails over the last week or so because we're going to be taking a little family pause beginning Friday. So I've been putting all the things in.
Yeah, and you're going to the mountains, right?
Yeah, we
Everybody is
are.
fleeing to the mountains. Wonder why.
It's time. I wanna
Oh, it'll be
wanna just
beautiful.
go hide in the trees and
That's it. That's it. You can't see me.
my little mermaid self is like, I'll go play in the river.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we'll be heading later this week. But I've been busy as a bee over the last month. I took that pause in June after letting go of the way things were, right? And that's what we're here to talk about
Mhm.
today with our
Mhm.
goddess.
Morrighan.
Ramona has been having difficulty putting her tongue around Morrighan all morning.
Morrighan. Well, and Morgan, I guess, is another way you can
Mm-hmm.
pronounce her name.
Yeah.
Whatever sounds good to you. But I've just was researching the Celtic version, and that's what I came up with. So correct me if I'm wrong, any of you
Yeah. Yeah.
goddesses who are up on their pronunciation. However, we call her, she
Yes.
definitely has some powerful things to say to
Oh,
us.
does she for sure. And that's where I was what I was referencing is that it's the ability to let the end come, right? The process of releasing something that's no longer serving so that you can open the door to allow your magic to create something even more magical. And that's what I mean is I took that pause in June and process letting go and process that this is this is my new normal and I not even really knowing what that new normal was. And then I came into July and I've been like, let's go, like producing all of these ideas and inspiration into the world. And maybe they're not quite into the minds of the people that will be receiving this because right now it's still in this like creative state, but
Mm-hmm.
the actions are beginning to be taken in the back screen, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which will eventually be taken in 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 the outward world,
There you
right?
go. There you go. Well, it's like designing a website. You got the back end and you got the front end. The
Right.
back end is where all the workings are happening and the coding and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that the front end, when you got the pictures and
Right.
all that stuff,
Right.
is all ready to roll.
And so let's talk about her. What is the message of Morrighan?
Wow, death and magic. I like that the book that we have that goes with these cards says, be willing to be empty. Soon the goddess Morrighan will fill you up with magic and a new world will be born for you.
Mm,
This is her gift for you when you surrender your resistance and allow things to be as they are.
yeah.
And how often are we still staying attached to things? And
Mm-hmm.
we talk about this, seems like every, well, not every week, but just the let go. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to have, for there to be a beginning, there has to be an ending.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's the
It
cycle.
cycles, right? Well,
And
and I want to share her image again because I really have to get my right and left on camera here. So if you
mm-hmm,
look at her hands, they're clasped together and they're swirling with magic all around them. At the
mm-hmm,
center of her forehead is the moon.
mm-hmm,
So that is the reminder that, you know, the moon is our representation here of cycles of beginning and ending, right? And
mm-hmm.
she's just such a magical goddess to observe here.
I love that she showed up on the new moon. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to be doing our new moon exploration ceremony tonight, journey. And we think of the new moon is a dark time. You can't really see anything. That it
Mm-hmm.
and it's magical because it's really the beginning of something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it's like this clean slate that you can
Right.
start writing your new intentions and your new visions, or just continue what's been going. And I I just love that. I think she's a perfect goddess to show up at this time.
Yes.
And I mean, I was saying before, I love coming up with ideas and all of that. Sometimes it's the execution of said ideas that gets me tripped up. So I look forward to the new moon because, oh yeah, I get these ideas. See what I can do with them. uh, and it is really, I just keep looking at this image. It really is beautiful. The magic
Yeah.
that she's holding, and she's got these black crows on her shoulders. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's really, it's not ominous at all. It's just like, look at what's going to happen. And
Well, and her eyes are so
super,
laser focused on on forward, you know, looking forward.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I love it. Laser focused.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
does it say though in our alignment message here though? You Yet in modern culture, we spend so much time in denial, concocting ways to avoid death, refusing to allow nature to be true. We've lost so much wisdom as a result. There's the magical death goddess Morrighan offers you the alignment task of self-inquiry.
Mm.
What death are you resisting right now? What darkness do you need to bring to
Yeah.
awareness? How has fear ruled your choices? Those are really powerful questions. And sometimes we don't really want to explore those. And honestly, living in this actual present day,
Mm-hmm.
death, life and death is ever present on most everyone's minds because we're still living in this pandemic. And where we are here in Florida, it's really risen to a
Yeah.
horrible state. Uh, and so we're thinking about that a lot in just the physical sense of death and our own. Gosh, I'm just like going everywhere with this. I think about legacy.
Mm.
I think, well, what do I want my legacy to be? Am I really being the change that I want to see in the world? And what am
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
doing? And all these are things that are going on in my mind
Yeah.
in that cycle. But we have that moon cycle to guide
Yeah.
us through that as long as we're in tune and aligned. And it's okay to have fears.
Mm.
It's natural, but what do we do with it?
Exactly. Well, and that's this last question that was in this passage here that you read from. Your magic is so much stronger than you think. You can do this. Your dreams depend on it. Morrighan will help you with every step of the way. And the question posed just before that statement was, Who could you be if you had the courage to look at life on life's terms? So, what are life's
Mm-hmm.
terms? You are born, you live, and you die.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, it's about recognizing that every aspect of this physical experience that we are having has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so when we experience great change, which is what we're all experiencing right now, great change. I look at my teenage son, and from the time that he was a very little boy, he could not navigate change. It was
Mm-hmm.
devastation. It was extreme emotions that would be experienced. Like starting a new school year was the worst for us because he wouldn't get out of my car. He would cry all the way up to the door for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And, God bless him, he just didn't have a lot of comfort with change. But that was also because his physical world was moving from one house to another.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he felt a lack of control, I think, and so it felt uncomfortable. So we've had to talk in great detail throughout the years about the only thing we can depend on is that things will change.
That's right. Nothing changes except what changes itself, something of that nature.
So if that's the truth, if that's what life is gifting us, is the opportunity to acknowledge and accept that the only thing we can consistently rely on is that things will always be changing, then that's what this question's asking you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what life is offering you, the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to accept that things are constantly in shift and transition and movement. So, how do we observe those changes from a space that is more loving and kind to ourselves and more accepting of where we're going and what we're doing? I will tell you that it's not easy, but every time my company has had to take some kind of a shift or change, I've had to process that grief of letting go of the old,
Mm-hmm.
of allowing what I thought was going to be this consistent go. But if there's anything that I can say is consistent, it's that I am continuing to expand and grow as a teacher, as a practitioner, and as a spiritual journeyer.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, I'm tremendously grateful because I don't feel stuck when I'm allowing myself to move with those changes.
Yeah, well, and you're giving yourself freedom
Mm-hmm.
to then move on and explore, and you're not bound to
Mm-hmm.
old ideas, and it's just like that freedom you feel when you finally let go of that false belief of whatever it is
Right.
you've been hanging on to. And
Exactly.
finally when you release that, and wow, now I can move on, I can.
Well, and look at what abundance comes when you do.
Mm-hmm.
When you do really truly let it go and allow that space that's been holding with something that maybe isn't in alignment for you to evolve into something else.
And it might have been in alignment with what you were
Right.
doing at the
Yeah.
moment, right? And that it allowed you to move further toward whatever vision it was you have. And I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that uh,
Yeah.
like your overall vision or mine has really changed all that much. It's just how it's showing up. And
Exactly.
then so
Exactly.
you it I mean, my whole year has been aligned action.
Mm-hmm.
And the actions I thought I would be taking earlier on this year are completely different than what
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing now,
Right.
although my vision is still out there.
Mm-hmm.
And but it even keeps changing and evolving, and it's kind of
Right.
fun. It's like, oh, well, I didn't think I'd be doing that.
Right.
I didn't
Right.
think that would be happening. People have been popping into my life from years past that
Mm.
uh, I just reconnected with a college friend of mine. We used to be on the swim team together, And
Mm.
uh, she was offering this workshop on health and nutrition and all that. I hopped on, and it was beautiful because after 30 years,
Yeah.
we were doing a lot of the same things. You'd be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, you're doing this, you're doing yes, yes, yes. And I don't know where I was going with that. It's just that you just don't know who's going to pop into your life that's
Right.
coming in to support you. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
that I think in abundance for me, it's been the people coming in
Yeah.
that want to support me,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
or that I can support them in ways
Yep.
I'd never even really thought.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to go through
Absolutely.
those things, had to let them go. Like, I don't do that anymore, kind of thing. And,
Mm-hmm.
moving in this direction.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, and that yeah, again, for me, one of the big lessons that spirit has gifted me throughout my adult life has been understanding that relationships evolve, and sometimes what was here goes here, and that's okay, because if they're meant to come back together, they will.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to really really work that energy because of my codependence, because of this innate um, programming that I have operated under for too many years, and in the past 10 years have been purposefully actively shifting out of seeing the world that way. So with a practice like that, with an intentional approach to letting go of beliefs that don't serve me, I
Mm-hmm.
also had to be able to work the opportunities that were being gifted to me to shift. And so, um, you know, this message has really been quite illuminating for me this week, because it's shown me not only in my work life but also in my personal life ways that I have really learned to let go and allow something to no longer be. And
Mm-hmm.
I've also witnessed the magic that comes after that. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a really important part of this message, is that it's when we allow things that are no longer sustainable
Right.
go, that's when the magic can enter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the magic is right here,
Yeah,
just
it sure is.
waiting to come out.
That's why her hands are like this, because that heart is
That's right.
hitting it.
Mm-hmm. Always from the heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, friends, we hope that this message has brought in some enlightenment and inspiration to your life today. And we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.